In this podcast, we will learn the steps involved in solving a business problem. The 5 steps for solving a business problem are: 1. Identify the problem. 2. Formulate possible solutions. 3. Collect both qualitative and quantitative data related to the problem. 4. Analyze all the available alternative solutions. 5. Select the solution that maximizes the value of the firm. We learn a problem-solving approach as we are growing up from parents, friends, family. Sometimes we are busy in our personal lives and do not think of difference between symptoms and problems while trying to solve the problem. We cannot use a personal approach in business to solve the problem. We need to separate symptoms from the problem and use symptoms to isolate the problem. Otherwise, we will never be able to solve it. Let's look at the healthcare situation to understand the difference between a symptom and a problem. Assume that you visited the doctor because you have headaches, common cold, and a cough. The doctor only notes your symptoms and prescribes aspirin for headache, Tylenol for cold, and Vicks for the cough. You may have the flu, or maybe it is something else, and the treatment will not make you well because doctor is treating the symptoms rather than the illness. In business, if managers identify symptoms as problems and go about solving the symptoms, the problem will exist and organization will suffer. An understanding of difference between symptoms and problem is essential for solving the problem. A common mistake the managers and researchers make is to identify symptoms as problems. For example, a manager observes that the company's sales have declined and assumes that sales decline is the problem. However, decline in sales is the symptom. The business problem may be product or service quality, or pricing, lack of research and development and innovation, business model, or strategy. The managers should always use symptoms to trace the company's problem. The first step is to review the internal environment, such as quality, pricing, product features, business model, and strategy. The second step is to review the industry forces to determine which force impacts the firm's sales. The third step is to analyze the external environment such as economy, technology, political and legal, social, and environmental factors to determine the impact on the company's sales. Once the problem is identified, it should be stated clearly so that everyone in the organization understands it and it can contribute to solving it. There is always more than one solution to a given problem. For example, if the doctor determines that patient's problem is headache, the doctor may identify possible medical solutions such as a dose of aspirin, Tylenol, or Advil. The doctor may evaluate the effectiveness of each medication side effects before recommending it to the patient. The physician may use qualitative data such as input from the patient and quantitative data such as temperature, blood pressure, and other data to determine the best possible solution for the headache problem. Similarly, managers should find more than one alternative to the business problem and analyze both qualitative and quantitative data to determine the best solution that maximizes the firm's value. In summary, the 5 steps for solving problem are: number 1, identify the problem. Number 2, formulate possible solutions. Number 3, collect qualitative data and quantitative data related to the problem. Number 4, analyze all the available alternatives. Number 5, select the solution that maximizes the value of the firm. We need to separate the symptoms from the problem and use the symptoms to isolate the problem to maximize the firm's value. Thanks for listening to the podcast.